Be me, 36, brand new HR lead at Carter and Lowell, mid-size engineering shop, maybe 55 staff, mostly guys, shocker. Worked my ass off to get here. HR reform in male-heavy fields. Someone has to clean these places up. Engineering firms are the last frat houses. Dudes coasting, joking, gatekeeping, same job, different pay, acting like they deserve it by default. Been here almost a month. Already clocked the patterns. Men cutting off the two women engineers. Real decisions made at bar tabs after work. Promotions justified as team chemistry. They have no idea what I control. Annual performance reviews live with me. The soft metrics are flexible. Collaboration, tone, adaptability. All subjective, all mine. Been nudging male scores down quietly. Nothing dramatic, 1 or 2 points, just enough to shave raises. Call it equity. This morning, the custodian, Roy, early 60s, been here since Reagan probably walked straight into my office. No knock. I'm on a Zoom call, wave him off, irritated. He freezes, mumbles sorry, backs out like a kicked puppy, learn workplace norms. Later that day, intern Hannah stops by, asks about career growth, drop everything, 20 minutes of guidance, sent her leadership tracks, mentorship links, women forward development programs. That's real support. But here's the real reason I took this job. There's a guy, Mark Delaney, 45-ish, senior drafting specialist, been here over a decade, knows some prehistoric CAD software. All legacy designs live in his head. Clients trust him personally. Everyone treats him like a load-bearing beam. Owner Greg name drops him constantly. The men admire him, quiet, capable, zero drama, exactly why he's a problem. Old guard poster boy, rewarded for sticking around, symbol of how things used to work. I need to crack that image, schedule an all-hands meeting, nearly 60 people stuffed in the conference room, printed packets, slides ready, announce new inclusive communication standards, catch a few smirks. Expected, roll out the pronoun policy, pronouns and email signatures, pronoun badges on site, state pronouns during introductions, misgendering earns a written notice, non-compliance logged as inclusion infractions, impacts raises and bonuses. Repeat issues can lead to termination. Frame it as industry norms, client expectations, inevitable progress. Guys glance at each other, but nod. Eric almost laughs. Mental note taken. Clarify? This is not optional. Company policy. Full compliance by Friday. Felt powerful. First big move, decisive leadership. Next day, most fall in line. He, him, everywhere. Badges clipped on shirts. Zero enthusiasm, full obedience, except Mark. Check his email signature. Nothing. Desk area bare, working like nothing changed. Send a polite reminder. No reply. Knew he'd push back. Week later, enforcement phase. Email notices sent. Most update within a day. Mark still silent. Wednesday project meeting. Dozen people present. Mark walking through client timelines, drawings, milestones. I'm not listening. Watching his chest. Still no badge. Cut him off, mid-sentence. Mark, you haven't added pronouns. This is required now. He looks at me, calm as stone. I just use names. Tell him that's insufficient. Policy was distributed. He nods, says he read it, then turns back to the presentation. Like I don't outrank him. Room, dead quiet. No one intervenes. Feel my face burn. That afternoon, I issue a formal warning. CC Greg, policy violation, documented. He replies in 2 minutes. Understood, nothing else. No promise to comply. Schedule mandatory inclusion training. Friday afternoon, 2 hours. Outside consultant, $350 fee. Consultant ran the session. 2 hours of slides about pronouns and inclusion. Most of the guys stared into space. Mark took notes. Didn't argue, never asked a question. End of training, she asked for verbal commitment. One by one, yes, yes, yes. Gets to Mark. He says, I heard everything you said. Not a yes, not a no. Afterward, I pull Karen aside. Office manager, late 40s. Been here like 16 years. Tell her Mark is being resistant. Say men like him are why women stall out here. She looks at me carefully. Why are you so locked on to Mark? Because he refuses to comply. She says he's always used names, never sarcastic, never rude. That's irrelevant. This is about standards. She lowers her voice. Melissa, why are you actually doing this? Feel my spine stiffen. Because women have no leverage here. These men need to learn they don't run everything. Our initiatives or your initiatives? She asks. What's that supposed to mean? She tells me Mark's trained 3 junior women, never interrupts anyone, skips the bar nights, goes home to his kids. You're treating him like a villain. He's just a guy doing his job. That's baseline behavior, not allyship. I walk away, hate that she backed him instead of me. Friday afternoon, back in my office clearing emails, hear voices drifting from the break room. This pronoun crap is ridiculous. Someone else says just do it. HR isn't worth dying on. Then Kyle's voice. Wait a second. We have to use stated pronouns, right? Like mandatory. Yeah. Policy section 4. Write up if you don't. Pause. Then Kyle again. What if we just change ours? Silence. Then laughing. She'd have to use them. It's her rule. She couldn't say no. Otherwise the whole thing's fake. More laughter. Someone says Mark wouldn't even need to do anything. They could all do this. I sit frozen at my desk, pulse pounding. Tell myself it's just idiots talking. Monday morning, Kyle's email now says she, her badge, 2. By lunch, 3 more follow. Evan switches to they, them. Rob picks she, her. Another junior adds something creative. Stare at my monitor. Are they serious? Tell myself. Maybe Kyle's genuinely questioning. Maybe my policy helped. That's the goal, right? Afternoon meeting. Kyle introduces himself. Hi, everyone. Kyle Nguyen, civil design. My pronouns are she, her. He's suppressing a grin, but technically compliant. I jot it down. Tell myself, this is progress. Tuesday. Send a group email about safety audits. Type fast. Mention Kyle will coordinate schedules. Hit send. 10 minutes later. Reply all. Hi, Melissa. Just a reminder. My pronouns are she, they. I believe you misgendered me, per policy section. 4. I'm filing a formal complaint. CC's leadership, department heads, HR inbox. My hands start shaking. Then Evan sends one. Melissa referred to me as he. My pronouns are they, them. Formal complaint attached. Then Rob, your email signature only lists she, her. Does this exclude non-binary identities? Request written clarification in 48 hours. 8 complaints total, all logged exactly how I designed the system. My rules turned inside out. Call Kyle into my office. Ask if he's mocking the policy. He looks calm. No, I'm participating. Isn't that what you wanted? This makes me feel safe exploring my gender. Are you saying I can't use these pronouns? Because that sounds discriminatory. I can't say he's lying. Can't say it's a joke. That would expose everything. He knows. I know. I dismiss him. By Friday, half the men have switched pronouns. Complaints flying everywhere. Against each other. Against me. Against Karen. Office buried in violation. Paperwork. And through all of it, Mark does nothing. No badge. No signature. No commentary. Just works. Answers phones. Handles clients. When guys joke nearby, he barely smiles. Never joins in. Never reacts. That's what breaks me. He's the one I needed to crack. And he's untouchable because he isn't resisting. He's just existing, doing his job while I drown in my own rules. Friday afternoon, sitting alone in my office, desk buried in pronoun complaints, every single one filed by men, most of them against me, here laughing out in the open area, hear Mark's voice in the hall, calm, steady, on the phone with a client like none of this exists. That's when it clicks. He never had to confront me. His refusal wasn't loud. It was permission. His silence gave them cover. He didn't lead a revolt. They followed him anyway, without him lifting a finger. Can't let that stand. Need a public example. Monday morning, company-wide meeting, Q4 pipeline review. I sit up front with my clipboard. Mark walks through the Westlake update, their biggest account, Almost 2.3 million C lines, specs, coordination points around the table. 3 guys wearing she/her badges. 1 guy corrects someone mid-sentence. As a joke, snickers, ripple, my ears burn. Mark wraps up. There it is. Mark, now's a good time to introduce yourself with pronouns. He looks at me evenly. Everyone here knows who I am. I remind him it's policy. I use people's names, Melissa, same way I have for 12 years. Kyle can't help himself. Actually, Melissa, you just used who for Mark. That's a gendered assumption. Should have used whom, or avoided pronouns entirely. Quiet laughter. A cough trying to hide it. I'm done. Meeting ends early. Email Mark. Come to my office now. He's there in 2 minutes. Standing, calm. I tell him he's terminated effective immediately. He doesn't blink. For what? Insubordination. Failure to comply with policy. Creating a hostile environment. Encouraging mockery of diversity efforts. You're firing me over pronouns. I'm firing you for repeated violations, for undermining workplace culture. You don't align with our values, or your values. I stand up. Clear your desk. 1 hour. Linda will oversee. He nods. No argument. Leaves. I sit back down, hands shaking, but exhilarated. I did it. I showed them. Authority matters. Watch from my window. Mark packing quietly. Guys crowd around him. Angry? Stunned. Kyle gestures toward my office. Marcus shakes his head. Mark stays composed. People help carry boxes, walk him to his car. He drives away. I won. Tuesday morning. Arrive early. Feel solid. Policy upheld. Authority established. Around 10. Voices raised down the hall. Field supervisor on speaker. What do you mean, Mark isn't there? I need Monroe Street Foundation. Specs. He always handles this. Junior engineer stammers. Mark doesn't work here anymore. What I need 2017 revisions. They're in the legacy CAD system. I'll figure it out. Tell myself it's not my issue. They'll adapt. No one's irreplaceable. Tuesday afternoon. Call transferred to me. Sharp female voice. This is Rachel from Westlake Group. Is Mark available? Mark is no longer with the company. Since when? As of yesterday, he's handled our projects for 6 years. Who's replacing him? We're assigning someone shortly. I want Mark. Have your owner call me. She hangs up. First flicker of doubt. Push it down. Clients adjust. Wednesday morning. Rob bursts into my office. We've got a problem. Client needs drawings from a 2011 job. Files are in that old AutoCAD format. Only Mark could open them. Figure it out. There are tutorials. Deadline's Friday. Then we're screwed. He leaves stressed. Not my concern. This will force modernization. Wednesday afternoon. Linda stops by. 6 calls today asking for Mark, including Patterson Commercial. They're threatening to call Greg. Greg's out with a client. Back Thursday. We'll deal with it then. But the feeling's there now. Tight in my chest. Unease spreading. Maybe I pushed too hard. Maybe I misjudged how much weight he carried. Wednesday night. Leaving late again. Walk past the conference room. Hear voices through the door. Marcus saying, we need to tell Greg. Jake saying he's gonna explode. Dwight says Mark wasn't just another guy. He was the nervous system of this place. I keep walking. Tell myself they're being dramatic. Drive home. Can't shut my brain off. What if I screwed up? No, I did the right thing. Mark was insubordinate. Thursday morning. Pull in at 8:30. Greg's truck already there. Stomach sinks. Barely gets settled. Karen shows up. Greg wants you now? Conference room. Walk in. Greg's there with Rob, Marcus, Dwight, 2 project leads. Everyone looks tense. Sit down. Melissa, his tone flat. Tell me why Mark Delaney doesn't work here anymore. Keep my voice even. Terminated for insubordination and policy violations. Policy violations. He repeats. Yes. Pronoun policy. He refused after multiple notices. Greg raises a hand. Stop. Dwight takes over. Pulls out notes. Westlake Group, largest client, about $2.3 million a year. Their PM has called 6 times. Won't work with anyone but Mark. Threatening contract review. My throat tightens. 4 active jobs need the legacy CAD system. Only Mark knows it. Monroe Street is frozen. Patterson commercial, hinting they'll walk. Field coordination, collapsing. Mark was the hub. Greg looked straight at me. What's the damage? 2 projects behind, possible losses in the millions. Silence, his jaw clenches. You fired our most critical employee over pronouns. It wasn't just pronouns. Then what was it? He was insubordinate, created a hostile environment, encouraged mockery of inclusion, efforts. Mockery? How? Greg asks. I hesitate. Can't explain malicious compliance without sounding insane. Jake speaks up. We changed our pronouns. She, her, they, them. Filed complaints when people messed up. We were making a point. Greg turns to him. What point? That the policy was kind of ridiculous. Sir, Greg looks back at me. So they followed your rules, used pronouns, mocked them, but complied? I don't answer. Greg rubs his temples. And Mark? What was Mark doing? Nothing. I admit, he just wouldn't add pronouns. Did he harass anyone, misgender anyone? No. Did he cause any real issues besides that? His refusal was emboldening. I'm asking clearly. Did Mark do anything other than refuse to add pronouns? Silence? No. I finally say. Greg stands up. Everyone out except Melissa. Room empties. Door shuts. He sits across from me. Westlake might walk. We can't meet deadlines without Mark's knowledge. We're staring at millions in losses. And you're telling me this happened because he wouldn't wear a badge. It's about accountability. Stop. Just stop. His voice sharper than I've ever heard. I don't care about your policy. I care about this company surviving. Do you understand? We are in crisis because of you. Policies mean nothing if the business collapses. If we lose Westlake, we lose 20% of revenue. So tell me, what matters more? Pronoun badges, or keeping the lights on? This isn't about badges, I say, voice rising. It's about building an inclusive workplace where everyone... I need you to stop talking now. I stop. Greg pulls out his phone. I'm calling Mark, offering his job back, with a raise and an apology. You're not involved. That destroys my authority. He looks at me hard. What authority? You almost torched this company over a gender experiment. Puts him on speaker. Mark, it's Greg. I owe you an apology. Melissa terminated you without my approval. I just learned how bad this is. I want you back. 15% raise. Full autonomy from HR interference. I need you. Mark's voice steady. I want that in writing. And the bonus structure I should have had years ago. Done. Can you start tomorrow? I'll be there. Greg hangs up. Looks at me. Pronoun policy suspended immediately. You're on formal notice. One more call like this. You're gone. Understood. Can't speak. Understood. He repeats. Yes. I whisper. Get out. I leave. Pass. Karen. She won't look up. Walk past the bullpen. Guys fake working. They heard everything. Go into my office. Shut the door. Everything I built. Gone. Friday morning. Mark walks back in, holding coffee. Hear it through the wall. Applause. Half joking. Half real. There he is. Mark says dry. All right. Back to work. Within 2 hours, he's on the phone with Westlake. By end of day, Monroe Street is moving. Patterson handled 3 other jobs, unstuck, like nothing ever happened. Except now, everyone knows his value. And mine. Monday morning. Greg calls, company lawyer on speaker. Melissa, you're being reassigned to Bakersfield. Effective in 2 weeks. Stomach drops. That's a demotion. 6-person office. Same title. Same pay. No influence. Lawyer cuts in. Operational needs. Judgment concerns. Accept, or we discuss separation. I accept. Trapped. Tuesday and Thursday, packing my office. Carry boxes through the bullpen. Kyle, still wearing his she/her badge, sees me, grins, waves. Mark at his desk, on a client call, doesn't look up. Karen brings final paperwork, tries to be gentle. I was trying to help women here. She looks neutral. You heard everyone. Mark was one of the good ones. You should have left him alone. Greg sends company memo. Pronoun policy suspended indefinitely. Optional inclusion, only, doesn't mention me, doesn't need to, by end of day. Badge is gone, signatures reset, normal restored, Now I'm in Bakersfield, tiny office, benefits, forms, compliance logs, no authority, no leverage, but I'm not finished. They think they won, Mark, Kyle, all of them. They coordinated, turned my own rules on me, made me look reckless, humiliated me in front of Greg. I'm documenting everything, every meeting, every override, how leadership sided with them. There are lawyers for this. Retaliation, hostile environment, discrimination against me. I'll rebuild, move to a company that actually cares. Maybe file with the EEOC. They wanted me gone, they got it. But guys like Mark don't win forever. The world is changing, whether they like it or not. I just need to be smarter next.